Hey guys, and welcome back to another brand new video. Today, I know you guys been want to ask you today. I decided to make a story about it. Now, if you guys haven't seen my videos about it, if you guys don't want to see the trailer title at the title trailer. Now you guys saw that you guys gonna Define the Love is gonna be coming out soon. Now you guys saw the red title, the Define of Love is gonna come out in 2022, but it's gonna come out on 2022. Now we have to wait what time it's gonna come out. So the reason why I put it 2022 because they announced, like I said, there are new houses gonna it's the new house is going to the new house because it's the new house is basically the new house because basically I'm kind of so excited to move a new house, and one day I'll record a vlog. So let me tell you guys about the story. This is a story about the find of love. So here is the story. The story of the find of love, the find of the love is about. So let me get the story. What is the find of love? The find of love is like they don't. It's about the separation of the separate with a couple where it separates a couple who is separated about the boyfriend, a boy, a girl. We don't want to separate a find of love. We need to find a love who was the story. Now there was a girl named his name is Arion. He's basically he's not one of those girls who basically wants to hang out with us something. He doesn't want to go nowhere. He doesn't want to go nowhere. So basically, the story about Arion, basically the story about his story, because his story, it has a story because of the story happened to his story. The story of Arion, basically the story is about the story about his own, his own love, and how he cares about his own friendship with guys. Basically, is Ariana. Basically, his story. Basically, wants to be his. Basically, he loves to do what he loves to do, but he likes to do what he likes to do. He likes to play. He likes to watch TV with his mom, and he likes to watch. And of course, he likes to do. He likes to cook. Basically, Ariana. Basically, she's a different teenage girl who basically. Ariana. She basically was born on July 1, 2002, and basically she's now 18 years old. She's now basically 18 years old. So basically, he found out love the name Jaden. Jaden is basically a guy who wants to hang out with guys. He's basically wants to hang out with friends. He will hang out. But he's not one of those. He's basically wants to hang out with some people who likes to hang out. Basically, with the hang out with basically Jaden basically loves to do sports. His favorite sports he likes to do is like his favorite sport. It could be like soccer or football. Basically, of course, he basically thinks that's his most favorite sport, and he loves to do it. Basically, Jaden he grew up and of course he grew up in the states and he lives in it. He grew up in the state in California. Of course, he grew up in the state of and of course he grew up in the state and he grew up in the state in California. He grew up in a whole state, Jose. But it's basically his family moved to a different state. They moved to another different state of the different state. But basically, they grew up, and of course, his family decided to move to Massachusetts. To basically move to Massachusetts. Everyone basically lived in Massachusetts. They live in Massachusetts. They decided to move to the course. They moved to Boston. Boston basically decided to move. They live in Boston, of course. Boston basically decided to move to the Boston. But so here's this. Now let me say, Jaden and Ariana first met each other in high school. They first met in high school. Of course, they first met in high school. After they first met in high school, they first met and of course decided to be friends. When they first met each other in high school, they first met each other, and they decided to become friends. Of course, Jaden decided to do here. Jaden has a feeling of love with Ariane, and he decided to ask her out if he wants to be her date. He basically announced that Ariane, and of course Jaden announced that he wants to. And after he went to a park to invite Ariana to ask her out to what her date is. So her date, of course, basically wants to ask her out the date if he wants to be her date. And Ariana basically said he doesn't want to disturb the relationship, but basically decided to accept it. Basically she wants to accept it because he doesn't like care about much relationship, because Ariana doesn't care about much relationship. Basically, of course, Jaden Ariana decided to be girlfriend and boyfriend. Decided to be, and of course, and of course, decided to be couple. They both have been couple for like of course, but there's a lot of mysterious about the relationship. But basically, we gotta see what happened to the relationship. His name is Core's name is his name is Joe. Okay, so basically his name is Harry. Harry is basically he's a teenage guy who is a basically he's a teenage guy who has a crush on Ariana. But Jaden has another basically there's a girl whose name is his name is Angela. Angela is a girl who basically who has a crush on Jaden, and Harry has a crush on Ariana. But both have been basically they have confusion because of crush. But basically, Ariana and Jaden both are still together. They're still coupled with each other, but they haven't official relationship with a course relationship. Now you guys just saw the clip story. What is the clip story about the find of love? If you guys never see the video yet, it's just gonna come. She might appear in the movie and again, but she's the girl who wants to ruin the relationship. His name is I know you guys name it the cat girl and the cat woman, but I just have to change it to name as the stealer woman. It's never heard this. The stealer woman. She's basically she wants to kidnap people, and he wants to have a plan. Now, basically, he was trying to ruin the people's relationship, pretend like he's trying to pretend like they're trying to ruin the relationship, but basically wants to ruin Jaden and Ariana's couple. Now, basically, they decided to do a course they want to make. They basically had them. Now, there was a you guys saw the clip. There was a ghost. So basically, the woman stealer decided to he punched Jade in the face. Now you guys saw him punch in the face after he basically decided he got and the dreams came out his dreams. The ghost basically you guys know if you guys don't see a ghost, but I know you guys don't think you saw a ghost like a ghost. Now I know you guys not gonna see a ghost in the video on the movie because it pretend the ghost is invisible. Now you guys think the ghost is bad is a bad, but he's trying to help him out to wake him up to pretend to trying to get back to get a relationship. The ghost basically the ghost he's trying to pretend like Jaden has his ghost is his dream. The ghost is his dream. The ghost. But he wants to go to his dreams to go to find his way to help him to get back with Ariana. Ariana and Jaden decide to split up with each other because they're having a bunch of problems with the relationship. They decide to do it after they graduate high school. Basically, Jaden decided to do they think about to get back with Ariana to get back to the relationship to not get this. Jaden has so much feelings with Ariane, because basically he wants to get back with his girlfriend. Basically, he wants to find out what happened. So basically, Jaden has to find a way to investigate about what happened. What happened. The story happens with the story where Jaden announced that Jaden announced that he wants to find a real life girlfriend. But basically, his girlfriend they've been having mental issue problem. Now you guys know the story happened. What is the story about? Jaden woke up in the middle dark time, and basically when there was uh, basically decided to find a way who is what caused Jaden the relationship. Now they think that Harry and Angela decided to just they're responsible for the own they're responsible for the relationship, but basically they're not because they have mental crush and they don't want to disturb their crushes. But basically they basically think they thought is the responsible. But basically they think the ghost is the responsible, but that no, the ghost comes to the dream, the curse the dream. They're trying their best who's the responsible, but they find out who basically Jaden knows that he finally who is responsible for who's responsible, and he found out that it was the stealer woman. The stealer woman basically he was some ruin the relationship. They're trying to find a way. Ariana basically she's now turning her birthday. She's almost about to be close to summer. But I basically the summer caused the summer course to ruin the summer day. I basically the course the summer after the last day of school. The last school basically Ariana has a mental issues with Ariana. Basically Jaden has to find a way to find a way. He's just trying to find a way to relationship to find, and of course he's trying his best to find a way to. But basically, I know you guys will not. I know it's not going to happen in the movie, but you guys gonna think what's gonna happen, what it really happened. I know I can't I can't make that story about my editing videos because my editing has a different mental problem with editing. Now basically the space. That basically his mind. Of course, Jaden has his own mind. The ghost basically think he's in space. After he was basically talking to Angela, basically Angela decide to find a way to the relationship. After the relationship, they basically denounced that he wants to find a good relationship with people, relations, but basically the relationship the people will needs to find. Of course, the relationship needs to find his relationship with other girls. Basically, find out of Jaden has to find a way to get back to his ex girlfriend, to get back with her. Basically, and of course his girlfriend needs to be basically been separated. Basically they've been separated because they're separated because of the separation. Of course they're back. They find the fun. They finally gonna he walks to the wood. Basically Ariana find out that he was talking to find out that Jaden telling Ariana to that was the stealer woman who ruined the relationship. After find out Ariana basically he's trying to stop the woman stealer, and of course the woman stealer. Basically, he was trying my best to find out, and of course, finally she found the woman stealer. She finally found the woman stealer, and of course, he refused to decide to kill her, and of course, refused to start to kill her. He wants to kill the stealer woman. They basically don't want to steal. They want to kill the stealing woman because they want to steal her, and of course, he wants to kill her for responsible for the relationship. They cause the relationship. It caused the relationship the worst the relationship it caused this, and of course it caused the relationship with the worst and caused the worst and worst. Now I basically thought that that thought is who is responsible for this, and now they find out, and of course Angela decided to do it as a plan to get back to his to feel love with Jaden. Basically Jaden and of course Angela and of course Angela and Harry, they don't work each other. They don't work each other, and of course they don't work each other. I know they don't want to be friends to each other because they don't like each other at all. But basically they don't see that much of family. That of course they don't see that family, and of course they don't see really family at all because they don't basically don't see their family. Basically, of course, the story about the story. What is the happen the story? So let's say what happened to the end. After Angelo finally he killed his own the bad woman. I know it's going it will be I don't want to say kill because I know I say kill because I just don't want to get my channel get or it just I don't want my channel gets terminated. But I basically just basically that I said that basically the story about basically the story will happen and it will happen and one day it will happen and the story will happen in the story it will happen in the story. And you guys will see what happened in the story. What happened in the story. But basically, the what happened to the end of what happened to the relationship with Jaden and Angela. Basically now it's that Jaden and relation. Now basically, Angela basically has a good. Now let me tell you a backstory. What's gonna happen in the backstory. I thought they got separated. They decided to do